13 political reporter Brandy Cruz is here to talk about what's in the new version of the deal and what is not in the new version of the deal.
Yeah, it started at $3 trillion. It's down to $1.75 trillion. Still an awful lot of money and investments that are things that are the priorities of Democrats. But you really kind of get the sense of how urgent this feels for Democrats from all wings of the party because they understand what's at stake if they don't deliver on these priorities for the president ahead of the 2022 midterms. And well, nothing is done until it's done. Lawmakers from our state seem optimistic.
No one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is.
President Biden addressing Americans on a new framework for social spending, but not before meeting with Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of our state, whose Progressive Caucus would need to sign on.
He said that what we do on these two bills is going to be determinative for how the world sees us.
Before making any guarantees, she said progressives want to see the fine print.
Look, the first step is we got to see the legislation.
We do have some idea of what would be in the spending package and what wouldn't. Universal pre-K, expanded access to childcare, extension of the child tax credit, and billions for climate change are likely in. Paid family leave and a path toward lower prescription drug prices could be out. Congressman Derek Kilmer of our state says the package would benefit his working class constituency from Tacoma to the coast, especially in cities that have persistently struggled economically.
There's funding in this bill for a pilot program really focused on providing some long-term assistance, 10-year assistance, to help those communities develop and carry out economic development strategies and create jobs over the long term.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan and leaders from other U.S. cities joined a virtual event with Vice President Kamala Harris today to talk about the spending package, an all-out effort to sell the plan to the American people.
Today, we have an opportunity to finish what we started, I believe, or at least to take it to the next step.
But there's still the matter of the Senate and whether moderate Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are both on board with the $1.75 trillion price tag. Congresswoman Jayapal says the president seemed hopeful, but not certain.
He said he's confident he can get the votes. It wasn't clear whether the two senators have committed to vote for it. So, look, I think it's a bit of a leap of faith in the president.
Yeah, and certainly, as I said, 2022 midterms are about to get really in full swing. I know it's still 2021, but these things start early, as you know. And for Democrats, it's kind of going to be embarrassing to them if they have to go out on the campaign trail and try to keep their majority without having done any of these things. And for Republicans, this has kind of been easy for them, right? We didn't even have any Republicans in that package because Republicans are just sort of like, well, here's the Democrats. They have control, but they can't figure it out. So they're just leaving them to their own devices.
Does Jayapal feel like this is a win for her and her caucus?
Well, so she had to come down, right? Jayapal originally was very firm on the $3 trillion for the social spending plan. That's now down to at least $1.75 trillion. But the thing is this, had the Progressive Caucus not refused to vote on the infrastructure deal that had already passed the Senate until the social spending bill came along with it, the social spending bill probably never would have happened, or at least not in the immediate future. So what she did by having her caucus stand firm is to basically guarantee that there would be no infrastructure bill without the social spending bill and link them together. So absolutely, she's going to consider this a win for her and for her Progressive Caucus.
Yeah, and she definitely was one of the most vocal during this whole time. It raised her platform, whether or not you like her or dislike her, right? She was out there.
It did. This does not happen without her. So I think she has a lot of power as a congresswoman from our state, and she's in a position of power right now.
Yeah, thank you, Brandy.
Yeah.
All right. And make sure, though, and another political important topic is tune in to the second and final Seattle mayoral debate tonight between Bruce Harrell and Lorena Gonzalez. The candidates will answer questions from a panel of local journalists, including myself. Again, that is tonight at 7 o'clock on Fox 13+.